Hi there, my name is Chateau Morrison. I am the Princess of Positivity, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Fat and Happy Tapping Tuesdays. Now, during these days, we're giving you short, just-in-time tapping transformations for you to do. We want to give you just-in-time content that's going to allow you to feel much better when you jump in. Now, I normally have a co-host. Her name is Morgan Bouzes. We're actually on sabbatical for the summer. Again, this is an object lesson for you to understand that sometimes it's not about hustle. Strength isn't slowing down. In fact, we've been on sabbatical since the beginning of July, and one of the things I love about this kind of coming into August is this is how you pause and reset for the new season, which is coming, of course, in September. So today really is all about the midlife woman who realizes that there's some things that she needs, but sometimes you feel a little funny about asking for them because it's not something that you needed in the past. And so it feels like it's kind of weighing you down that suddenly you need something that you didn't need before. Like that particular hair, I needed that one, but anyway, it didn't want to stay with me. So if you've ever whispered to yourself instead of asked for what you need, this is for you. And the reason why I'm doing this particular episode is because there's been some weather at home. Now, I've been in Florida. I usually spend about a month here every single year, different times during the year I'm here. My elderly mom's here. I help and share caregiving. My sister does the lion's share, but I come several times a year to help along with her. I couldn't get back home because of weather that's going on. I had to extend my trip. Not an issue. I can extend my trip, not a problem. But what happened was it hit me that, oh, girlfriend, ever since you've been on birth control, which has been so many years since I had a hysterectomy, let's not even get too personal, I am not on the pill. But what happened is I'm on a different pill, one for my thyroid. And if I don't take it, things are a little weird. In fact, I don't know exactly what will happen if I don't take it because I always take it every single morning. I'm very meticulous about that. I take it every single day. It doesn't bother me because this is something that goes on at home. But when I travel, I take just the amount I need. And I've traveled quite a bit since being on that particular medication. To me, it's a midlife moment because I had to figure out what to do. I had to call the pharmacy at home to see if they could transfer it. They couldn't. I had to then go to a major pharmacy and find out what they could do to either transfer the prescription, do something so that I could have a few extra pills until I get a flight home. It really hit me that in that moment, I had this big need and I had to ask everyone for help. My sister, I talked to my brother-in-law about it. I had to ask my husband, what do you think I should do? I had to call the doctor, the pharmacy, a new pharmacy. And actually someone at the pharmacy was just a doll baby. And she said, you know what? We're going to give you 2 courtesy pills instead of having to transfer the entire prescription. If that was not a midlife moment right there, it really was. And it reminded me how important it is that we're soft with ourselves. That we remember that sometimes you have to ask for the accommodation. You may not be able to wear the stilettos anymore. You know those stilettos? I love them. Can't wear them anymore, right? The ankle said no. Sometimes you have to wear sneakers in order to be soft. Sometimes in order to be present, you have to take the prescription, and we struggle with that. It makes us remember back in our 20s, we didn't have to do that. In our 30s, we may not have to do. You may just only be in your 40s. I'm in my 50s, and you're thinking, I didn't have to do that. Maybe I can get over without it right now. Peace and clarity comes from taking care of your needs and from having the faith that if you do that, you will show up more fearless. You will show up more present. The needs are changing, and that's okay. Right now, I probably need a fan. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in Florida and it's hot. Just being so for real. Ooh, girl. If you've had a child, or if you haven't actually, if you're not a mom, you haven't given birth, either you've taken care of a niece, a nephew, somebody younger than you, a child, whatever, right? Maybe you have a play niece or a play daughter or a spiritual young one in your life. And when they were learning how to walk, you couldn't slap some regular shoes on them, not even regular children's shoes. You had to give them that big boot, that little boot with that, you know, it's stitched on the bottom, it's leather, it's hard. Why? Because that's what they needed to walk. You needed to give them something that was good for their feet so they could learn how to manage the transition from sitting on your lap to crawling to rocking and standing up to finally walking and then running. You don't mind. In fact, they have this beautiful, my daughter used to have those big, beautiful, poofy dresses and them boots. She looked so cute. We loved it with the sock, right, and a thick, chunky leg. No one thought that was weird. So why should it be weird if you need an accommodation? Midlife is not a loss, it's a shift. It's a shift that deserves softness, not shame, and it deserves your permission, not punishment. I don't need that. I'm good. Stop trying to be good and actually be gracious with aging. Let's jump into this tapping transformation. I hope this serves you. So we're going to go ahead and get into this tapping transformation. Before we get started, I'd like you to just do a little quick grounding. One thing that's nice is if you take your shoes off and place your feet flat on the floor, if you're able to, you can kind of roll your neck a little bit. This is just to kind of get your blood flowing a little bit. And while you do that, and take some deep breaths and hold them at the top, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep doing that. I'm going to talk to you a little about how we measure not so much progress in EFT, but how we do these measurements. So it's called the subjective unit of distress. Maybe you're a woman in midlife, maybe you're in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're feeling this kind of way about menopause, perimenopause, or the different changes or accommodations that you need in your life right now. And while I talk about this, I want you to just be doing those deep breaths to kind of bring the energy down a little bit and to get your blood kind of flowing. You can do a little few of these while you're breathing. You can roll your neck a little bit as well. You can rub your hands on your legs, or you can put your hand on your chest. Any of those things will work to kind of get you going. You can also roll your shoulders, all right? So there's other groundings that we do where you see the whole grounding, but I just kind of want you to get into that while I'm talking to you about this. So what we do is we have a level. So you can kind of grade yourself from 0 to 10 about how you're feeling about this. I will tell you that the other day when I recognized, okay, it's fine. I'll change my flight. I told my husband it's not a big deal. And then it hit me that, oh no, I don't have the medicine I need. I can go without some of the herbs, but I cannot go without the medicine. And I had that panic for a second. It used to be so easy. I change my flight. I move on. I stay an extra week, 2 weeks, who cares? And now I can't do that. I'm thinking, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I take the extra medicine with me? Why did I count the pills out? Because I thought that was smart. And so you start to second guess yourself. If any of these things sound familiar, keep breathing and releasing it. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So maybe I would say the day when I had to go pick up my medicine, I was probably at an 8 or 9. And that's what made me want to create this. And I have to say that sometimes I've created a tapping transformation that is so important to me that I'm going to give it to you exactly the way that I do. I usually record my tapping transformations when I'm doing them myself. So this particular one I actually have printed, so to speak. It's on my computer, and I'm going to be reading through some of this for you. And I think I like doing that as I use the tapping transformations and they actually work for me. I want to give you exactly what it is. And that's a little different than what Morgan and I normally do, but that's the brilliance of doing something different during a sabbatical. You grow, all right? So this is exactly what worked for me, and I want to give it right to you. The first thing we're going to do is during this time, we're going to use these 3 fingers, and you're just going to start tapping on the side of your hand. So if you finish with your breathing, you have one more breath, that's fine. I'm going to talk fairly slowly, and you can repeat after me. Even though it's hard to admit that I need things I didn't used to, I honor the truth that my body and life are changing. I give myself permission to be open to what supports me now. Again, you're going to repeat after me. You can do this out loud in your mind. You can do it just a whisper, or you can just watch me and bookmark this video and come back later. Even though I've spent years holding myself to outdated standards, I'm learning to release those old expectations with compassion. And I choose to embrace this new season with grace, joy, and a soft heart. Even though asking for help still stirs up fear and resistance, I'm beginning to see that asking is a form of strength. It's not shame. It's not weakness. I deeply and completely love, accept, honor me and all of the needs and accommodations that are necessary for me to thrive. So now we're going to get into our first round of tapping. Again, if this is your first time joining me, we're going to start at the eyebrow point. Take a deep cleansing breath in through your nose. You can hold it. out through your mouth, and let's start tapping. Eyebrow point. This isn't how it used to be. Side of eye. I didn't used to need medication or extra time or comfort shoes. Under eye. The truth is my needs are changing and I don't like it. Under nose. It feels uncomfortable. Under chin. I feel weak and sometimes I feel behind. Collarbone. I keep pretending I don't need help. It doesn't feel strong. Underarm. Is this resistance? It feels like resistance, and it's wearing me out. Top of head. I want to honor my changing needs, but it's hard. What if asking wasn't weakness? Side of eye. What if it's wisdom? Under eye. The kind of wisdom that says to me, under nose, I'm worth it. I'm worth taking care of. Chin. I'm worth the phone call to the doctor. I'm worth the refill. Collarbone. I'm worth the accommodation. Underarm. I don't have to suffer in silence to be strong. Top of head. What would happen if I just asked? Now I want to stop here and ask you a couple of questions because these questions will kind of help you know where to start from the next time you start tapping, or if you want to journal. I love journaling along with tapping. I think it's one of the best ways to find what's going on inside of you. So one of those things is, these are going to be on the positive side and a little bit delving into the negative. What is the best thing so far about the changes you're experiencing? Journal that out. Take a few minutes. You may have to bookmark this, and if you're watching the premiere, you may not be able to type it out now, but type it out, journal it out, use your phone, record it. What's the best thing so far about getting a little bit older? What are you experiencing that you love? What do you love? The second question is, if there was anything you could change at all about the past and bring it forward, what would it be? What would it be? If you could bring anything from the past and bring it forward, what would it be? Now the challenge is, can you bring it forward with joy right now? In other words, is it a possibility for you to do that? I will give you a quick example. I usually don't do this. Last week my hair had all the gray in it, and then I got it dyed. Can I bring forward having only straight jet black hair like I used to? I cannot, naturally. But because it's what I like, I can bring it forth with natural dye. It's what I like. It makes me feel good. That's an example. What can you bring back from the past and bring it forward? And would that work for you? How would it make you feel? Now, when you have to ask for an accommodation, why does that make you feel less than? Why do you feel like that makes you less? And if it doesn't make you feel like that you're less, then why aren't you asking for what you need? I mean, why? Why aren't you doing it? Like, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Hey, don't journal all those why aren't you doing it. So I'm passionate about this. And specifically, if you feel like aging is making you feel old, then define what old is. Maybe old for you is looking at wrinkles. Maybe it's crow's feet, whatever they call those things. Maybe it's lifelines, or Wi-Fi lines, what my kids call them. Maybe it's gray hair. Maybe it's, needing to wear a back brace. Or for myself, it's using a TENS unit in the evening, a couple times a week because of an old accident and injury that is no longer going to heal at my age or weight. What would happen if you use the accommodations? If you use the accommodations and it made you feel better, is that what old looks like? Just asking me, is that what old looks like? Because one of the things we know for sure about women at midlife is that asking for themselves sometimes is hard. There's still, we're still bogged down with asking for our kids, our spouses. Now we're getting into caregiving. So we're asking for our moms and dads and things like that. But what if you took all that energy and asked for you? I want you to come back and I want you to journal about some of this. You can find some really powerful things out about you. And I will let you know that if you want to work with someone to work through some of that, then I'm your girl. You can go to bit.ly/chat-tap, set up an appointment with me, and I can help you work through some of that. Let's get back to the tapping. We're going to do a little release round of tapping, and then we're going to do an affirmation round, and then we're going to get on out of here. Starting at the eyebrow point, I'm not 20 anymore. And that's not a failure. Side of eye, it's a privilege to age. I wouldn't want the alternative. Under eye, it's powerful to be able to evolve, to change. Under nose, at this age, I get to do more of what I want if I give myself permission. Chin, I can put on sneakers instead of stilettos. Collarbone, I can dye my hair if that's what I want. Underarm, I can take medication. I can go to therapy. I can tap whenever I need it, whatever I need. Top of head, I am not less because I need more. I'm simply more aware. Now let's do some affirmations to remember how valid your needs are, not just yours, mine too. Now let's do some affirmations. You may substitute other affirmations you're using. I love a good progressive affirmation, but a lot of times in tapping, I want to push you a little bit farther. And so we're going to do full, robust affirmations. Eyebrow, my needs are not a burden. Side of eye, they are a reflection of my growth. Under eye, every mask is a reminder I'm worth caring for. Under nose, every choice I make for wellness is a gift for myself. Chin, there's nothing weak about me. Collarbone, there is wisdom in gray hair. There is willingness and joy. Underarm, I release shame. I choose compassion. Top of head, I am radiant, supported, and free. Now, go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. If this is your first time tapping with me, please leave a comment, or you can also message me and let me know how you felt about this one. You're finished. You may feel yourself being a little warm. You may got chills. Whenever something it gives you some kind of energetic feeling, if you get chills or something, that's that mind-body connection, which is another great thing about tapping. It's really connecting you up. I love to do some deep breaths, do a little grounding afterwards, and also drink water. Water helps you to cleanse all of that out. Your nervous system is getting a reset right now. And so we help to move things along with a little bit of fluid, a little bit of hydration. Midlife is full of shifts. Some are subtle and some are seismic. It's almost like a big earthquake that's happening. Overnight, weird things are happening. But the moment you start to hide what you need and you start to think, if I need this, it's too much. That's when you start to really shrink yourself. And I don't believe in shrinking, not at any time. So if you need to make a minor shift, whether it's a new medication or you need to start one, or there's a test you need, right? And you know the test I'm talking about. If there's a mindset shift that needs to happen, you need to eat a little bit differently, maybe less sugar, less wine. If you need to stop eating gluten, it's hard. It's hard. If you need to put on sneakers with a gown instead of stilettos, so that the next day you can walk with your children or grandchildren or husband, or around the pond with your elderly mother, then wear the sneakers. I'm just saying, I've done it all because of the health problems that I have. Whatever it is, whatever accommodation it looks like, make it happen. This is where wisdom comes in. It is an evolution. It's yours to claim, and you don't have to apologize for it, so stop. All right, so now, if today gave you a flicker of peace, a little extra breath, I want to make sure, first of all, that you come back here next Tuesday for the next Fat and Happy Tapping Transformation Tuesday. It's a big mouthful. You can always also get an appointment with one of us at bit.ly/chat-tap. And don't forget about the Midsummer Reset in the Getting to After magazine. Even though it is online, I have a printed version. It's so gorgeous. So here it is. Here's the magazine, Getting to After. I love this magazine. This is the best one we've done so far. This is definitely a labor of love. One of the best features to me is the fact that if you do decide to print it, or if you do it online, you will have the journal pages to journal some of the tapping that you're getting through. You will have that. You'll also have, which is great, a place for, if you want, you can use our affirmations right here, okay? These affirmations that are called Romanticize Like a Boss. So that's a really good feature in here as well. And, oh my goodness, the recipes. So we have recipes in here. Look at this. Look at the deliciousness, right? And also wine pairings. So grab yours. The cool thing is you don't have to print it. You don't need that. What you can do is you can just use it online, which is, I love that, especially you're at the pool, you're at the beach. You just kind of scroll through. It makes it super easy. All right, that's it. Listen, you need something soulful. All you got to do is get a glass of iced tea or an iced coffee, or if you want a chilled wine, and look at that magazine. It's really going to help reset you. I cannot wait to talk to you next week. My name is Chateau Marson. I am the Princess of Positivity. Grab the magazine. The link is below. If you want an appointment, the link is below. Come on back here next Tuesday. I believe that you can release your negativity so your positive brain in your brain, in your business, your big, beautiful life. I believe it. You can believe it too. Come on back and do some tapping with us. We'll see you next time. But until I do, don't forget to be authentic, be brilliant, and be the catalyst. Take care.